Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Tokoloshe, The Calling. And this is a new horror film from writer-director Richard Green, and is basically just a ripoff of The Shining. I think that suffices enough for the synopsis because a successful writer goes to an abandoned hotel with his wife and adopted daughter to finish his much-anticipated follow-up book when strange things start to happen. It's not exactly the same thing. It takes place in South Africa. It's not in Colorado. It's not a son. It's an adopted daughter. But it's like the same exact thing. There are the shots from outside the hotel, almost the same exact shots framing everything as The Shining. They have two girls walking around the hallways randomly. And the adopted daughter is riding around on a little big wheel tricycle. There's even like creepy bar with old people popping up who look like they're from a party or something with an enigmatic bartender. This movie is just a complete ripoff of The Shining. And it's not even trying to be like, this is an adaptation of The Shining. No, it is just a ripoff. And I guess you try to explain it like you have this Tokoloshe, this creature which you barely see at times, and that's what's going on here. And basically, there's some good ideas in terms of scares in this film. There's creepy chattering going on. There's a fluidity in terms of like a person goes into the next room, but then there's like some kind of presence mimicking them about to harm one of the other characters who's lulled into trust. And like there's these ideas, but they're never executed well because the direction is so clunky, the pacing is awful, and this never feels like a cohesive direction at all. Everything feels like a muddled mess from shot to shot. You just feel like nothing is coming together and just pulling it together and actually telling a cohesive story or even a cohesive cinematic experience. It just feels like a whole bunch of shots randomly thrown together. Horrible sound design. A lot of the dialogue is completely muffled, and the sound editing is really off. Some of these sounds sound really exaggerated, and then some of them with the mixing is so loud that it's hard to even... You lose all sense of like the actual sound in the scene because the sound put over it makes you feel like you're not even watching the same thing that you're hearing. And the sound doesn't fit. It's just such an odd experience, and none of it really feels like it was focused and put together properly. And a lot of the acting is really flat and awkward and doesn't really connect. And I can't even describe any of these characters really. Like basically the little girl who's going around this place is basically the strongest performance we have. And it's just, this film feels like such a terrible rehash of everything that's in The Shining. Done so poorly and poorly directed, and just feels like a bit of a mess. And it's just like, which is unfortunate because there are some cool ideas, some cool setups for scares. It's just, it was never put together effectively to really capitalize on that idea. So like, there's some good ideas here. There's some good setups for good scares. It's just they never really come together and are done in an effective way. So then it just feels like wasted potential. And that's what this film is. Basically a ripoff of The Shining and some wasted horror potential. So, wouldn't really recommend this one. This was kind of hard to sit through even for like, this was like an hour and 7 minutes without the credits. But those are my thoughts on Tokoloshe, The Calling. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.